Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. And as promised, I believe I said at some point yesterday, we're going to be bringing Emily into bonus stage 3 and seeing how she does. So, this is Tanky Emily, so she is very, very slow. As you can see, it took us 11 minutes and 50 seconds just to make it to Aina. So I figured I'd run through the level, get all of that out of the way, and then just show you the Aina boss fight to see if Emily can manage to do it. Now, I won't be killing her. I'm gonna probably get her to 200 or 100 life bars, just to have an unofficial she can do it. And then we'll stop the video after I share the build. So let's just get right into it. So the trick with Tanky Emily, I think, is just being patient. I don't think she's so bad she can't do it. Not that Emily's bad, but this boss kind of counters machines heavy. So, yeah, if you just take it slow, stay away from all that BS, she should be fine. As she'll just kind of whittle down everything over the course of the fight very slowly. So right now I'm kind of just getting hit by the trash, but that's all good. I am not in any rush. And just be sure while you're running this build, because you do not have your auto attack on, be sure that you're actually taking advantage of holding down your auto attack button as much as possible, and make sure you stick to your healing field when you can, like I just did there. Soon I'll have ult to deal with some of this trash and get out of that. We'll heal up first and we'll ult. There we go. Cozy, cozy Emily. The reason this works so well is she just has so many sources of healing. With the supporter and with, her gravity hold and her healing field, that she's generally safe as long as you, play her abilities smart. And this gives her a nice breather in the air to basic attack and drop bombs. Once these enemies are dealt with, I don't think she'll have much of an issue with Aina, because Aina's pretty easy to deal with. Surprisingly enough. I don't think anything's hard after Tempest, though. Tempest is nuts. Though getting shot for 4,000 there wasn't too good. She definitely does hurt when she hits you. I'll just give her that much. There we go. And this is why I'm just showing you guys the boss fight, because Emily, Tank Emily is so slow. Oh my god, this is gonna be, probably longer than I thought it would be, but it's all good. This is the content people subscribe for. I want to get, this. Go. We're almost up to our second ult, which is good. Gonna try to dodge that as I come down. Perfect. Now we have Suzune back. Try to punish these demons. Perfect. There we go. Alright. Now we just have to deal with Gundo Musashi over here. This guy. I'm gonna drop a bomb on his head while he's chilling there. Alrighty. The good thing about this build, it's the typical tank build we made up. I don't think it's a hard build requirement to meet. It just comes down to, I think the hardest thing about running this is just you have the patience to run it, because it's very, very slow. I know most people would prefer to clear in 2 to 3 minutes, which is altogether possible, but if you were to run Emily here, I wouldn't try to bring her in as a DPS. Personally, I think Emily as a tank, works so well in in-game content. I really, enjoy using her this way. Because one, it turns off her auto attack, so it feels like I'm playing a real character. And since she's one of my favorite characters to play, despite a lot of people finding her boring, I'm okay with this. And now you can see we can kind of just relax and Rebellious Weapon her down. If you don't have the Rebellious Weapon, of course the Super Rare Critical Weapon will work. But that defense down is very valuable in a weaker build like this. Let me just dodge forward. There we go. Just like Final Fantasy mechanics, it's not that bad. As long as Ina doesn't hit me for a bajillion damage. And the being tanky thing really does help because Ark and I were comparing, like... Emily, where are you aiming? Ark and I were comparing numbers, and I believe he said Ina was able to hit his Morisaki for roughly 5,000 when she did hit her, like with her big hits. So, the fact that Emily's taking 3 to 4k shows that me stacking tank-like stats onto her, like tanky supporters and what have you, is actually reducing the damage. Because I believe Ina does deal 50% more to machines or something crazy like that. And of course, Emily is dealing reduced damage for being a machine on bonus stage 3. Let me ult here. America Beam! Whee! Alright. So we got about 700 light bars to chew through. Ow. Okay, that one hurt. Get a little bit of this sweet heal. Oh. That was rude. Okay, now if I pull the fight away from that gun, because I believe that gun just stays out forever. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just going to stay there, so we'll be over here. Oh no, she does swap it up. Okay. I can dig it. Now I'll be over here. So when you phase her, yeah, her damage does go up quite ridiculously. She's definitely hitting harder now. Like chilling right there. Oh no! As long as she doesn't reposition that annoying gun. That screwed me on the last mechanic. Alright. The next healing field should be safe to camp in. Perfect. We'll have Suzanne back soon. I think I'll just stop basic attacking for now. And this is why you don't run Emily's basic attack, simply because she's just so darn slow. It's not safe to be using it. So now we'll just ability spam and keep our HP high. Because Ina's pretty linear, so... Perfect. Okay, let's get in this. That. Back here, and then do this. Alrighty. So it definitely does test your tankiness. Again, Emily, why? Auto aim is on and she decides that that box is the biggest threat in the room. What, Emily, what are you doing? Okay. This is why we're only showing the boss fight. Now that we're safely back at full health. Ow! Okay, what is up with this? Why is she not aiming her gravity hold right? Get a healing field going right here. There we go. That's better. That's what I've been trying to do. Okay. Let me see if I can sneak these out. I don't think it's safe to do that. Maybe it is. Okay. So I wonder, like, if this boss, like, what... Oh, does she just get 2 now? No, that was just her replacing it. I wonder if this boss was, like, designed to counter Emily specifically. Like, I don't know, like, what the whole... Perfect. What the whole machine countering is with this event, but it's definitely doing it. I'd have to imagine how hard this is for Asuka mains with 0 sustain. I've seen that they've done it, but oh my god, this must be a terrible fight. If you come in here like full DPS. The 6k is a lot of damage to be taking. I'll take that. That's another thing to remember with Tank Emily, like, when in doubt, just sit in your healing field. It is the safest thing you can do. Like, regardless of what the boss is doing, just stay in the field. Because those 1700 ticks are very helpful. Try to gravity hold. Did that just go through the boss? Neat. Cool. It's almost as if I didn't do it. No, crap. Okay, good. That iframe worked. Get a little bit of this and keep it moving. Do one of these. Okay. Got to steal this ground shock. Or she ran away like she robbed me. And we'll use our Suzune. Just like 400 more life bars and we'll call it a match. Ooh, that's perfect. Free damage. Yes, I needed that. Ow. I really suck for missing that healing field there. Let's try to fish for one here. There we go. We should be safe. Yes, we're safe. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay. And yes, I will Suzune. Thank you. Dodge back. Make sure you take advantage of your, when you can, basic. Ow! I want my healing field. Anyway, what I was about to say, before getting punished, make sure you do take advantage of when you can, basic. Because they do still defense down if you're using a rebellious weapon. Even without it, it's still just residual damage. Wow, she really readjusted that really quickly this time. I feel like she gets like slightly faster the longer you fight her. Maybe it's just in my head. Alright, dodge back here. That should be safe. Yes, good. Ow! Stop shooting me. Okay, now we're back in the 50% zone. Ow! Okay, now we're back out of it. It's fine. I don't know if she actually does telegraph that shot. She says something as she does it. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear, but I have the game volume low so you can hear me. But she is like, there's like a vocal cue right before she does that shot for 6k. in case people are wondering how to dodge it. It's still hard to dodge, but I can hear the vocal cue. What was that move? That was a bit rude. Little Miss Jigglypuff over here. That's what her nickname is. She is Jigglypuff. Finally, I came up with a nickname for Aina that's funny. Because she's so bouncy. Look at her little body. Ow. And this is about what I expected. I imagine this is like a 30-minute run, 30-minute-ish with Emily. Where are you shooting? What? Okay. Mind you, I haven't really practiced this. This is my first time bringing Emily in here against her. But it does seem like the safest time to hold basic attack is when she's like repositioning the laser and when she's doing her little AoE. And any other time it's not safe because of that move. Like now it's safe. And I just simply need to dodge. So yeah, this is probably your safest times if you're looking to like never get hit at all. I'm kind of playing unsafely like an idiot, but who cares? I suck at this game, we all know that. Yeah, whatever that move is too when she does that. That weird, like, it looks like a little airstrike she has. Okay, shoot a little bit. This is the... Yeah, what is that airstrike attack? Oh, sweet. 3 damage! Ow! Okay, let's fish for a dodge. Aina, please. Yes, thank you. That's what I wanted. Well, she certainly listened to my request. Let's Susan, eh? And we'll ult. Okay. That's another trick you can do while you are in your healing field. If you ult there, she will tick up all that missing HP. Ow! I dodged too soon. Let's do this. We'll do another one of these. Good, perfect. She took that time to reposition. Okay. Safe to shoot. Now it's not safe to shoot. Safe to shoot for a moment. Now it's not. Perfect. Nope. Ow. I tried to dodge, but it caught me. Okay. There we go. That time I heard the telegraph and reacted properly. So this is definitely doable. Like, it's just, it's such a test in patience. But from what it looks like, if you honestly just walk around in circles and only do stuff when she's doing something slow, I think you're probably going to be fine. Go. Nice, nice, nice. Ow, ow, ow. 6,800 damage shot hurts. Ow! Okay, I think it'll be about time to let Emily die soon. I'll let her get to like 100. But while it is so very slow, like, if you're not a fan of Emily, why? I don't know why you would ever do this to yourself. And it is true that this event is meant to just counter out this character as well as Asuka. Let me definitely Susanne. I think we'll do one more ult. That's how we'll end it. Okay, so we're going to cancel that into America Beam. Okay, so what's she sitting at? 13 more life bars? Okay. We can handle that. If Emily shot the right way. I would love to have like a better like targeting system in this game. Because there's nothing else for Emily to gravity hold here. I don't know what she's aiming for when she just shoots it the other way. But it's a bit annoying. I can't see Ina, that's bad. Alright, there she is. Ow. Okay. Alright, we'll do this, we'll boop you, and then we'll ground shock you. There, she's down to 100. Okay, so Emily can definitely clear this. Let's leave the mission. Now that the boring 19 minutes of gameplay is out of the way, because Tank Emily is very, very slow, I've shared the build before, but I'll share it again for those who aren't aware. We have Emily. She will be using, in this case, her rebellious weapon, because that is my best weapon for her. It is at S level 4. If you do not have rebellious, you can always use, I believe, the Magi? Or no, it's this here. The Magi, that's what it's called. Alright, so it will give 28% critical rate if it is at S level 5. At S level 1, it would still give 14%. So it's good to just like get a little bit of damage in a build that would otherwise have none. And that's the reason why we use the rebellious weapon, because each crit does cause a defense down, which will help Emily to actually do a little bit more damage in a build that has none. This would also be a good option if you were fighting exclusively demon types, so keep this in mind. If they ever do release a bonus stage that's all demons, you can run Tanky Emily and use this to get an additional 80% damage, and again in a build that would otherwise have none. And if you have neither of these options, you can always go to the arena and pick up her PvP weapons for a beat stick, because they do have the highest base stats out in the game, even compared to gacha weapons. So they give up a nice ability for doing more damage base. So always keep PvP weapons in mind, especially if you are free to play. And here you see here we do have PvP weapon in the off slot because it's easier to get to S level 5. And at S level 5 you get the most out of your sub slot because it's a higher percentage of stats. As for Magatamas, I'm pretty sure it's obvious what we're running. All green Magatamas with the all increase HP maximum rather. This maximum does max out at 4%. I say around 3 or 3.5. You're really good. Like, after 3.5, I'd relax on rolling if you get like 3.5 in every roll, because then it'll just cost you an astronomical amount of beads to grind everything up to 4%. But if you have the mats lying around, hey, do what you gotta do. If you want to get them all to 4%, your Emily will have even more HP than mine, and thus be even tankier. And the reason the build works so well is because of the higher HP, because supporters have this stipulation that says restores like a percentage of lost HP. So like if you look at Susanne, she says of lost HP, and the same thing goes for the supporter here, Genryu. So basically if you get your HP to 40 and 50k, by the time you're at 20k HP, this supporter will be healing for so much. As long as you keep above 50%, like the less you have, the more you heal essentially. So that's why we stack more HP instead of stacking defense. And on the subject of supporters, of course we're using Susanne because of her all damage reduction, which helps. And because of her nice regen every 54 seconds. It also helps with debuffs as well, because she will cut debuff durations when you use her. So like, generally I hold her until like I'm really low, like maybe sitting at like we'll say 60%, maybe 70% HP. Against the boss fight, like in this case, because this boss was designed to counter Emily, we were using Suzune off cooldown, and as you saw, Emily was able to sustain pretty well when I was not playing like an idiot. And I'm sure people who can actually play the fight and not get hit would have a really easy time clearing, and just only suffer the negative of a slow clear time. For the middle slot, we are of course using this Kirara because of her reduced damage taken by 30% and her increased HP restored from all sources by 20%. She is literally like a staple for tank builds like this because her passive does everything you want her to do. You would want the build to do. Now, if you don't have a Kirara, we finally have a replacement for her in Aina. You will not be getting an additional healing multiplier from Aina, but at S level 5, Aina will give you 30% damage reduction if you are using a machine type character. So in the case of a tanky Emily, for those without the Kirara, this build will become more powerful for them if they manage to finish the Aina event supporter and get her to S level 5. Because they will at least have the same amount of tankiness as I do wearing the Kirara, and then they'll just have to worry about getting HP restored from all sources from other places, which we can do that. And last but not least, I'm pretty sure everyone has this. It's just Genryu. She's rare. I'm pretty sure most people have this at S level 5 because Gacha loves to vomit them out. But of course, I'm sure there's one anomaly out there who, now that the tank build is a thing, probably is struggling to get a Genryu. But she's easy to get and rather free-to-play friendly. And, of course, we just have her here because she will restore 8% of your lost HP every 6 seconds. So it's just nice passive healing to have while your character is playing the game. And just be sure to try to keep them above 50%. Or if you get to less than 50%, make sure that you turtle up so that you can fish for healing fields and get your HP back to that safe zone so that Genryu can continue to do her job. And as far as that, I think that's everything. Unfortunately, we can't really substitute out the Suzune or the Genryu because they're the two blues we need for Gravity Hold to do its job, which we'll look at the skills now. And I can't think of another blue that heals quite as good as Suzune does. I don't think one exists yet, now that I'm actually kind of thinking about it a little bit. And since Genryu isn't really hard to get, it's not really worth looking into replacing her. But yeah, if you do need to, you can always throw on, in this case, an Aina supporter, because Emily is a machine. Or if you're trying to run this build on a demon-type character, such as Tanky Kirara, you can always throw on Sakuya from the previous event, since she was free-to-play, and she'll give you the 30% reduction that Kirara would give minus the healing. And I think that's it for supporters. So next we look at skills. Obviously, we're running Healing Field because it's just a nice tick of healing. And even in this build, as you can see, Healing Field actually has no additional benefits. And it's still just able to keep her alive just fine because the build itself keeps her very tanky. Next, we are running Gravity Hold. And the reason why we must have 2 blue is because you do want the Gravity Hold to be restoring the HP for the damage that it does deal. And Gravity Hold with Emily, even with no damage investment, can still hit for I've seen it hit for 50k, but generally on average against tankier enemies, in bonus stage, you'll see it hit for 27 to 30k. So all that HP comes back to you. And when it does multi-hit enemies, you will get HP for everything. So it's a very nice ability to have. It does leave her a bit unsafe, but generally she's so tanky it doesn't matter. This was the only time that I've ever had an issue throwing gravity holds, because Aina just counters Emily because of the damage reduction from machines and then damage increased to machines, where the gravity hold isn't something you want to throw around willy-nilly. But if you do fish for them, it is still a nice source of healing, and it is still great for dealing with packs of mobs because of its AoE potential and its knock-up for the one set. And last but not least, we use Ground Shock for the reason of it just simply throws her into the air. While she is in the air, you can always hold down your button to do her basic attack, so it's just free residual damage. And the Ground Shock does reduce enemy defense by 20% when you have 2 blue, which is another reason you don't want to lose 2 blue, because again, we do want every source of defense down we can get because we are not going to be dealing much damage. So we'll just kind of come over here. We'll head back to Kirara because she's irresistible. And then we'll come over to the menu screen. And we're going to look here. So for right now, I am running Them's Fightin' Ninjas because I wanted to test if Emily would be tanky enough. And with it, and she is. So this is just a nice little bit of critical damage to ranged attacks and critical rate to ranged attacks. So it helps her do a little bit more while you're playing the mission. But idealistically, you do want to be running Angels in White if you're going to be bringing Emily into this sort of map. If you cannot survive running Them's Fightin' Ninjas, Angels in White will help to keep you alive. It will further reduce the damage of ranged attacks by 15%. And spoiler alert, Aina seems to be all ranged except for the blade attack she does when you get close. And then it will further increase your HP restored from all sources by 30%. Now, I know this is a little bit conditional because people may not have the Nanami, but Emily was recently free to play, so I know most people have her, and I know everyone has a Yuna. So Nanami can be gotten from the facility, but I don't suggest you use the exchange facility unless you're like very, very desperate to do so. I would never put anything in there. But to anyone who's played around Christmas, yes, this passive will be unlocked to you. If you're really in the doghouse and you don't have the Emily or the Nanami, there is another passive you can use. I believe it's towards the top. Let me find it. I do wish there was a way to sort through these instead of like scrolling up and down, but unfortunately there isn't. Here it is. Taimanin's on fire. Increase HP restored from all sources by 10%. So if you don't have Angels in White, and you don't have Them's Fightin' Ninjas, and you don't have a Kirara, you can still get an additional 10% of healing from running this set effect. And it's pretty easy to like acquire because this is a rare supporter. And I believe by now most people may have a Homura lying around. So this isn't too hard to get your hands on. Again, it is kind of inferior, but it is another source of HP restored if you don't have anything else. So that'll pretty much be the Emily build and substitutes for it. And I hope this helped people out who are looking to clear this map with a machine type, because we'll just show you guys. I'm sure you guys already know, but the odds are stacked against her. We have literally, like Aina here, we're taking reduced damage from ults and then increasing damage she deals to Emily and Asuka because they are both machines. So leaving this screen, you also have the fact that machine type characters deal reduced attack damage. So, you know, Emily can do it. It is very slow, but you can definitely bring her in here. And I have seen reports of Asuka's doing it with DPS, but the person who did it said that it took about an hour of retrying to get through the map. But when he did beat it, he did it in, I think it was like roughly 3 minutes, give or take. So you can either like reset with a DPS Asuka and take maybe an hour depending on how good or bad you do, or you could take like 30 minutes just taking it slow with a tank Emily. Pick your poison if you're doing it with a machine character though, because I highly do not suggest them for this specific bonus stage. And with that, that will be the video. I do hope you guys found it helpful or informative, and if you did, please like and subscribe as it really does help me out. And I just want to take a moment and say thanks for all the support thus far, because the channel is still steadily growing. So I always like to take the time every now and then and just say thanks to you guys, because without you, this wouldn't be possible. And with all that being said, I do wish you guys good luck in all facets of the game. I wish you guys good luck on bonus stage 3, especially if you're going to tackle it with a machine type. And with that, you boys and gals take care, and I will catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.